Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio Podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined over distance by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Fine.
You sound a little far away, which I know this is the second time we started this. Could you just hold that little mic thing a little closer to your mouth?
I'll try. I'll try to do the TikTok thing. Hang on. How's that?
That's actually way better.
Yeah, maybe that's why they do it on TikToks.
I mean, as one who has made a lot of TikToks, that's why I do it.
Plus, I feel cool now.
I feel like this is going to be a short podcast this week. Both
Well, then it probably will be a short podcast.
This is our third consecutive over distance week.
It's not good, I gotta say.
Not ideal.
Not because of the podcast. I mean, I'm sorry if the sound quality is not what you're used to, but it sucks that we're always apart. What the hell?
I know. Let's stop doing that. How about you come home tomorrow?
I know, but there are always reasons.
Yeah.
Hops was one big reason.
That's not this reason. This reason's just dumb.
This
Anyway, on that note, no, not on that note, but we do have to do the cocktail of the week this week, and the cocktail of the week is actually a shot this week, courtesy of our mutual friend Jason. It is the Dead Nazi cocktail.
Ooh, I like it.
I was walking around in DC and I ran into some German tourists and I took them to my favorite bar, and the bartender's like, "You guys should try the Dead Nazi cocktail." And I was like, "Oh, that's maybe a little offensive." And he's like, "It's a good shot though." So the Dead Nazi cocktail, which is actually a shot, is equal parts Rumple mint peppermint liqueur.
Oh God.
We're gonna buy some. They have it at the Publix liquor store.
I'm getting a headache. I know. I've had Rumpelminze. Oh.
1 part Rumpelminze, 1 part Jägermeister.
Ooh, hey, it just got better.
I was like, Jason, that sounds terrible. He's like, there's also a 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and there's actually a bunch of shots called the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Most of them are 4 kinds of whiskey. It's like bourbon, like Jack Daniels, like Tennessee whiskey, Scotch, and Jameson.
Well, they aren't even trying to make it taste good.
His version of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse is Rumpelminze, Jägermeister, Goldschlager, and something else. I don't even remember, but I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Goldschlager is the one drink that I have vivid memories of drinking too much of and then feeling horrible.
Do you think it's because it has real gold in it and that's why you felt bad?
No, because I was already drunk, and then my friend got a Goldschlager shot, and it was too much, and it was gross, and it's just the whole concept is dumb.
Well, anyway, the Dead Nazi.
Wait, the bartender suggested this because he was with Germans?
I mean, that seems to be how the story went.
Well, yeah. What's his favorite bar?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Oh, you gotta find out these secrets.
Well, next time I'm up there.
Maybe it's a good one.
He and I have a grilled cheese date, vaguely tentatively scheduled for next time I'm in DC. So if we've tentatively scheduled that grilled cheese date many times over the last 3 years and it has not happened. So if it does happen, I will find out what the bar is.
Insider tip for tourists to Washington: there's a fancy grilled cheese place a block
GCDC.
from 2 blocks from the White House.
GCDC, like grilled GCDC. Cheese, Washington DC, GCDC.
It's open all day, and then at night it turns into like a bar with grilled cheese.
And get the tater tots; they're delish.
They have some of the best. We may be turning into tater tot aficionados. We have sampled good tater tots in many places. Those are really good loaded tots.
Me and Ingo and our friend Jason he also worked at the World Bank, as did Ingo, and so I would go down there sometimes, and the 3 of us would get grilled cheese, probably like once a month.
And Jason always inspired me to have a beer at lunch, which was counterproductive, but good, but fun and nice.
We always had a nice time.
Anyway, these shots sound like something like Venk would mix up.
Oh, it sounds terrible.
It's just like goofy, blind mixing of liquors. There's no attempt to taste test. I mean, it's gross.
I mean, these are both German, I guess, is the only thing.
I'm not sure Rumpelminze is German.
Oh, yeah, it is. I looked it up, and it's got like the full-on like German eagle on the label. Yeah.
Ooh, well, that's great.
Yeah. Uh, so there you
Anyway,
go. That's cocktail of the week.
I like Jägermeister and I like, Listerine, so this is probably a
Oh.
combination of those two.
He described Rumplemint's as liquid Altoid.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it helps your breath. It improves your breath. Good, good.
All right, are you ready for administrative corner?
Did you just say you ordered Rumpelminze?
I just checked to see if they had it at the public liquor store, and they do. So you can't order it, but like they even have like the individual single shot bottles of it. So I'm gonna get just a couple little ones next time we're over there.
I would. That's probably too much, but that's fine. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
still too much.
just in case.
I'm just saying things would have to be really dark for me to
I know.
Rumpelminze it up.
Um. All right, you ready for administrative corner?
I love administrative corn. It's a lot better than these nasty shots.
Let's do it then.
Okay,
So we have one and a half items. The half item is that one of the friends of the squad, whose username is PogoTwit, which is a good username,
that is pretty good.
uh, asked a question about Hopper, which I will answer in the dog update section of the podcast. But they said, I'm a little behind in listening to all of the squad casts.
Squadcast.
Squadcast. Why
Why
have we
did we
not
not
called
think
this the
about this?
Squadcast? I was like, Squadcast? Why? How did we
Oh,
not think of that?
that's so good. That was always right there.
Right there.
Right there.
I could have, for almost 300 episodes, been saying, "Welcome to the Golden Ratio Squadcast."
And it's so much cooler. Everyone has
Mm,
a podcast, but we have a squadcast.
the Squadcast.
I'm sorry, we don't podcast. We squadcast.
Squadcast. Like that meme with Drake, and it's like podcast, and he's like, "Mo," and then Squadcast, and he's like, "Yeah." That's Drake, right?
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep, 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 yep. Or
I
the
got
meme with the woman looking like skeptical, but then going,
mhm,
"Ooh,
oh. Squadcast. So
I
there you
have
go. I
a
had to share that.
I have a podcast." No, it's a squadcast. Ooh,
No.
that's really good.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Item 1, because that was item point 5. Item 1 is there's Mink Plushies now.
Yes, they're super
Uh,
cute.
they're super cute. If you follow the socials, which you all do, you've seen it. If you weren't paying attention on Friday last week, that is when they got announced. So they are made by the same company that did the Hopper one. So they're kind of in that vein, like same shape, head and body. But she's got real fluffy bod, way fluffier than the Hopper bod. Her little tongue sticks out. She's a little bit cross-eyed. There's a little secret embroidery on her.
Yeah, I
Um,
think some of your instructions on how to make it was more derp.
Yeah, we do like so like I send a bunch of pictures. So I sent them a bunch of pictures of Vink at all different angles, and then they have a designer who does like a CAD drawing of what it's going to look like, and you can rotate it around and see it at different angles, and you do a bunch of iterations with the digital version before they actually have the factory in China make the prototype physical version.
Mhm.
And so, do as many iterations as you want on the digital one because that's just you and the person working. And, so she did some, and it's like, you had the great idea, make her mouth a little more open. Maybe let's add a tongue for the people who are on Patreon or who subscribe on Twitter. Like they got to see all the prototypes and give feedback, which is really helpful. And then I was like, I don't know what it is, but I think she needs to be derpier. And I'm sorry that's not specific. And the designer's like, oh, derpy is a word that we work with all the time over here. Like, no worries. I know what derpy means.
Very funny.
So it's pretty cute. It definitely looks different than Hops. I think it looks like Vink.
Yeah, I don't think we've posted a picture of both of them together, but,
No, I was in Maryland last week and I tagged you in a request to take a
I
picture of them
know.
together and you
I
did not do it. You
I wanna
didn't do it.
by we, I mean me. Me. I don't think I know I have not sent that picture, taken that picture, or sent that picture.
Well, maybe we'll do that tomorrow.
You're closer.
I know I should do it. Except tomorrow I am also this is not on the administrative corner list, but I have been doing the page proof editing of my book, my dog book that's coming out.
Oh,
So I've got
yeah.
it's like the actual layout with the fonts and like, making sure everything looks fine before they start printing it. And I was like, I want to post a picture of this because we had this illustrator, Mark Ulrichsen, who has done like a bunch of New Yorker covers. He's great. He did the little opening chapter illustrations for all the chapters, and they're so cute, and it just looks so nice laid out. And I was like, I want to share like a screen grab of one of these pages. And so I emailed our editor at Simon and Schuster today. I was like, can I post this tomorrow? I'm like, I think people want to see it, but I don't want to break any rules. And then like 8 other people got looped in on that email, and then they all responded, and everybody was like, yes, that's fine. Send us a link when you post it. So
Oh man,
uh,
I didn't know where that was going. That
I
sounded bad.
know. I'll tell you the side story. I've been collecting all of this data from these incels. Truly terrible, terrible data collection. But all these forums are public. There's no rules in their terms of service that say you can't scrape them. So I scraped them for like the last 2 weeks. I've been downloading all of this data, and I'm gonna write a bunch of papers about it. And other researchers will want this data, and it's public. It's just out there on the web. I just downloaded a copy and kind of made it easier to work with. So I emailed our ethics board this week, who normally approves like human subjects research. So if you're,
Right.
I do it for like surveys, but they'll do it if you're doing like cancer drugs, you go through the same board. And I was like, this is all public, so you didn't have to approve me using it, but is it okay if I post it online? Like, I think it should be fine, but I just want to be sure. And they're like, looks fine, but you should really email the university privacy officer to make sure it's okay. And I started writing the email, and I was like, do I really want to email the privacy officer? Like, I know I did okay, but I don't want to be told no. And I'm like, no, when somebody sues the university, some mad incel, like, I want to have the backing. And so I emailed the privacy officer. I was like, this is all public. There's no rule. Here's the links. Nothing says you can't scrape it. Can I post this? And he responded, he's like, it's rare in this job that I get to tell someone they did everything right. But
Wow.
you did. This is
You
fine.
you have a good privacy officer. That is a degree of confidence that is rare for anyone in a bureaucracy.
I know.
That's
So
great.
anyway,
I
I
mean,
don't know
it's
how.
great. They were on social media. Now you're just putting it on social media again. It's like retweeting.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, that's
in
basically it. Like I
slightly
didn't,
different format, but basically, right?
yeah, I didn't break any rules, and it's all fine. So why did I start telling you about how awesome I was that I didn't
Because
screw
we're
anything up?
talking about the approval to show the chapter
Oh,
illustration.
yes. So tomorrow I'm going to tweet the chapter cover. So I don't know if I want to like double post, like, here's a picture of these plushies and here's a picture of my book. Like, here's all the stuff I'm making, as opposed to here's just my cute dogs to make your day better. So
Wait,
we'll
to what? So I should post the dogs thing?
maybe I'll just do them on different days.
Oh, doling it out.
I mean,
Drip, drip,
most people come because they
drip,
just want a cute dog pic.
drip, drip.
Not that most people don't buy the plushies. We have across all of our platforms, we have 900,000 followers, and we have sold 450 plushies. Like, most people are not there for the plushies.
I think they just don't know about him.
But like okay.
200 of
Um,
them are mine anyway.
no, stop. God damn it, Ingo. We have a coupon code. We can buy them at cost.
Don't worry, I'm sending him to our PO box, not to our home. It's better.
Okay. Uh,
I've found a workaround.
Speaking of the plushies, like we did with the Hopper, there are like 200 friends of the squad who say they can't afford a plushie right now, but they want one. And there's other people who are like, I will donate a plushie. So if you look on the socials, I've put a little thing up where you kind of buy one, but instead of buying it through Makeship, who's the people who will send it to you, there's like a link to buy one through us, and it'll ask for your address, but it doesn't matter. You'll just like go through our little PayPal and buy one to donate, and then Ingo will place orders for however many there are to all of the people who want one. So if you want to donate one, you can find that. If you can't find the link, just drop me a DM and I'll show you where it is.
Yep, I think that's a great thing for the community.
Okay,
Friends
it's
of the
time.
Squadcast.
Time for dog updates.
Well, I'm sorry we left administrative corner, but that's fine. I accept it.
There are no dog updates this week.
What?
Nothing is happening. I mean, Hops is doing better. I guess that's an update.
This is an update that's worth mentioning. I mean, whoever's watching the snaps can see she's in a much better mood. She's her kind of her own personality again, and she can move around much better than she could for 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still putting her in the cart to take her downstairs and out to the beach because she's not great. She does
No,
still have a limited number of steps, but like today I took her over to the neighbor's pool to go swimming. Just me and Hops had a little swim date.
that's nice.
And I was gonna wheel her over, but instead I wheeled her cart over to the fence and then she like hopped over the like four rocks into their yard and like ran to the pool with enthusiasm.
And she does take off when she wants to get somewhere. She can move now.
Yeah, so she really wanted to swim a lot in the pool, but like that hurts her elbow. And so when she'd start swimming, I would like swoop in and I'd hold all of her legs and then I would just run around the pool with her. We would do like circles around the pool. I'd be
Oh,
like,
like
"Look, Hops, you're swimming." And she'd carry the ball in her mouth and
wow, that's
yep.
pretty cool. It's like
So we had
she's flying.
like she's flying. So she still would preferred to swim, but it was okay. Like she didn't hurt herself, and then I was like, "Is she gonna be okay getting out of here?" And I like put her up on the thing, and she like ran over the sand and rolled around, and then hopped back into the yard, and I plopped her in the cart, and that was fine. So
That's
she's doing okay.
much better. Yeah, and she doesn't get as sore after she is in the water now than a month ago.
So this injection that they gave her at Ohio State, we could get from our vet 15 minutes away. I
And
mean,
we will.
we will. I mean, it's a little more complicated. It's not like our vet just had that lying around and could have done it, but they can put it together. We definitely didn't need to drive 20 hours, and by we I mean you, to Ohio State for that. We could have taken her to like a little specialist clinic in Miami, 3 hours away, but whatever. It's nice that it's working. It is supposed to last for months and then she can keep getting them. She can just get another one when this one wears off. So hopefully that's a thing that we'll be able to keep doing.
Yes, yes. It's made whatever happened. It made a difference. She's doing better.
She's doing much better. And I mean, it's really nice that she doesn't have to be on the fentanyl, which is also just a sign of how much better she is because the fentanyl's supposed to last 3 days. We would keep it on for about a week. And like on that seventh day, you could really tell that it was wearing off. And now she's not on it and she's doing fine. So
Yeah,
it's good.
and her pupils aren't dilated, and she doesn't look all doped up. I think she looked doped up. I mean, it was
You
probably
keep saying that.
my interpretation, but I think it was just spending 3 days with just me that cured her.
That 100% could be it.
It's the power of love, Jen. The
It's like
power
hope.
of love.
Someday, maybe all those other dogs and the lady will be gone, and it'll just be me and Ingo together again.
I mean, I guess I'll tolerate the lady if she goes swimming with me all the time.
I took her to the pool today. We played tug today. Like we had a nice time.
Oh, that's great.
So
She was playing with Venk the other day,
yeah, she's been doing good this week.
much to Remy's alarm.
So other than that, I mean, nobody has done anything. You've been gone since when did you leave? Tuesday?
I don't know, 17 days ago.
It's actually only been
Tuesday.
3 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, they're not doing anything. They just sleep all day, sleeping.
Yeah. They're doing their little thing. They're consistently weird in their
Let
own
us
little way.
enjoy. Let us enjoy this lull in dog updates because, as we know, additional updates always come.
There's a lot of vet visits next week for shots and flu vaccines and
Morris Animal Foundation
Morris Animal
annual.
Foundation. Yeah, the battery of tests.
Yeah, we'll have lots of updates next week.
Yeah, yeah, but just routine things. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Don't jinx it.
No, no, that's right. Let's see. I don't have anything in ramblings. Taste of the Keys this week, though. There's the Key West Naval Air Show is this weekend, and the Blue Angels are in town for it. So they did a flyover on Duval Street in Key West today, which is like the main kind of tourist street in Duval. So it just flew from it's like a mile and a half from one end to the other. It's real short, but they did this like really low information flyover of Duval Street. Did you see the videos?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it looks pretty cool.
I mean, they fly from ocean to ocean. That's pretty cool.
Please, Gulf to ocean.
Sorry, sea to sea.
Okay. Wh- yes.
I was being poetic.
I mean, it's not the Pacific Ocean on the other side, just the Gulf of Mexico.
What are you, a scientist? Come on,
Yes.
get out of
Yes,
here
I am. I am.
with your pedantry.
Um, Mink is making these little like.
Oh.
She's sleeping. She's just snoring. I- I'd go over there, but I'd wake her up if I. She's like over by the door.
Vink is my baby.
What's the German word of the week?
One suggested by a friend of the squad cast who said her boyfriend said she asked him something and he said, da muss ich mich erst wieder reinfuchsen. So the word reinfuchsen literally means to fox yourself into something. But it really means to study something or to, in Australia, they'd say get across something, to get familiarize yourself with something.
Oh,
Like, I have to get back up to speed on that.
yeah.
Da muss ich mich reinfuchsen.
Ich mich reinfuchsen.
Reinfuchsen.
So is it
It's
reflexive? Like
ich muss mich. Yeah, you have to. It is. I
that
have
means
to. I,
ich muss mich is I must myself
hmm I must.
reinfuchsen.
I must fox myself into that.
Interesting.
Rein is a short for herein, right? Or hinein.
Which doesn't mean anything to our non-German speaking friends.
No, but you're Germanish. I'm talking to you.
Oh well. Reinfuchsen.
Reinfuchsen, but fuchsen does mean to fox as a verb, which doesn't otherwise exist. So,
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
You have anything you want to talk about in Ingo Corner? This is your time to talk and mean not to say that it's boring.
Well, if you're not going to say it's boring, while I've been driving up and down 95 and to Columbus, I've decided that there's probably a correlation between the size of a state and the speed limit. And it's a good thing. The big states have a high speed limit because you want to get the hell out of there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because it's stupid. Because they're stupid and you want to get through them. But
Rhode
this,
Island, not high speed limit probably.
no,
You
no.
can't go 80 in Rhode Island.
Pennsylvania may be the exception. It's big and they've always had the lowest speed limit and they've always tried to catch speeders. That was always
Yeah.
the bane of all Ohio drivers was like the Pennsylvania Turnpike. You'd always get nabbed. I think they
Yeah.
actually did have airplanes enforcing for a while too.
I got pulled over by an airplane once.
Yeah, I think you've told me that story. Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
I mean, there was like a cop on the ground, but he's like, you know how we know how fast you were going? And I was like, you checked my speed. He's like, yeah, there's an airplane. He was very excited, like an airplane knew how fast you were going, and then I pulled you over, and I was like, okay,
I read a story once that they still have signs about that in
yeah,
Virginia too on
yeah, yeah,
95 and 81, but they have I think one airplane for the whole state and it's broken or it's being used for other things. So it's actually not worth it. I mean, with lasers and stuff, I think the cop cars do fine.
yeah.
Yeah, but it is you were very unlucky to get caught by that.
I don't think he actually ended up giving me a ticket, so I get out of a lot of. I mean, not that I get pulled over very often, but of the handful of times I've been pulled over, I've maybe twice gotten a ticket. Only once for speeding. They usually let me go.
Because you're nice.
Yeah, and I usually have a dog in the car. I mean, it's not fair, but I will take it.
You have an honest face.
There was one guy, I may have told this story before. I was driving back from my parents' house to my house in Maryland, and I went through Breezewood, Pennsylvania, which anyone who has driven that route knows, the
It's a
city of motels.
ridiculous speed bump in the freeway where the freeway ends. There's 6 traffic lights in Breezewood, and then you have to get back on the freeway. It is a complete trap.
Yeah, it's just like the interstate stops, and then it's like a strip, and there's like gas stations and motels, and
It
you
is
got to go
called the city
30.
of motels, right?
Yeah. It's this weird thing. And so I was coming back. I may have driven the whole it's 12 hours. So I think I was trying to do the whole thing at once. So it was quite late going through Breezewood. And it's about 2-ish hours from DC, I think 2.5.
Yeah.
And and it was very dark and it was late and I came, I had stopped and like filled up the car and then you have to go before you get right back on the interstate. You have to go on this kind of little country looking road, 2 lanes each way, highway for, 5 miles. And then you're back on Interstate 70 or something when you're coming into DC. And so I was on that little stretch of road, and there was this car coming up behind me. I mean, I was going 70, and it was clearly like pulling up on my bumper. And I was like, this is some guy who saw me getting gas
Yeah.
in Breezewood and is now following me out of Breezewood and is trying to give me a hard time. And so I'm like, I need to get away from this guy. So like I sped up, he sped up behind me. I tried, pulling in to, the slower lane of traffic. He pulled in behind me. I start passing people to try to get away from him, absolutely freaking out, and then eventually turned his lights on. It was a cop
Yeah.
trying to figure
That's
out how fast I was going. And when
so.
he pulled up and he pulled me over and he walked up, and I was like, I am so relieved that you're a cop, because I thought you were some creepy guy like following me out of Breezewood after I filled my car up. Like, whatever it is, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, glad you're not a murderer, because that's what I thought you were when you were following me like that. And he let me go.
He should have felt bad.
He should have felt bad. Yes.
That was completely unprofessional. If he
Yep.
has a reason to stop you, he should stop you. But that tailgating stuff is bullshit. That's happened to me too.
Yeah.
And then the
Hate
cop
it.
yelled at me
Well,
for
yeah.
trying to get away.
I mean, I had slowed down at some point, just like leaving the fuck alone. No, he's like, oh, what's she doing? Fuck that guy. Anyway. All right.
Indeed.
Thanks everyone for listening. This was a short one, but it's okay.
We're mixing it up.
And we'll be back in person next week with real quality audio.
Oh yeah,
Until
we'll have like even better stories than getting tickets or not.
and until next time, Slava Ukraini, and don't put anyone unless they ask you to.
Yep, as usual.
Bye.
Bye.